Greetings everybody, my name is Zakarawa. Welcome back to Let's Play Fragile Dreams. In our last episode, we made it to the end of the dam. We find out that there are other people who are using radios to scan for survivors, and that, according to Sai, the silver-haired girl is going to be used to activate Project Glass Cage, which she says if that happens, it's going to wipe out all the rest of the human beings. So we want to stop that. Sai has told us to head back to where we saw the silver-haired girl, and she will tell us how to get through that locked door.
Maybe I'll sit down.
Feel free to ask should you ever have any need for my services.
We didn't really come here to get anything
I
from
look forward
the
to our
merchant.
next meeting.
What we need are some ranged weapons. You may remember that when we first came through here, there were a good number of voices of resentment. That is still true. However, we will not be approaching them from the sides. We will be walking right down the middle of them. So it is very important for us to have weapons that allow us to keep our distance from their homing projectiles. As we work our way through here, it's going to be important that we keep our side close to these concrete pillars. That narrows the angles that we have to keep an eye out for projectiles. And of course, if we can kill them before the projectile gets to us, it will automatically destroy the projectile as well. A lot of times it's faster to just hit the large stationary target. And I mean, these guys only take 2 shots, so they go down pretty quick. There are a grand total of 10 of these guys this time. Previously, you may remember, it was a set of 5 and then a set of 5. We're going to switch back to our katana because we need a flashlight to try to see if we get lucky enough to find the object that fell down around here. Without the flashlight, we won't see the fireflies. Fortunately, I could not remember where it dropped, so we'll just have to leave it. It's probably just money anyway. Oh well, continuing on. Got another group of 10 here. However, these are the next level up. These are level 2 Voices of Resentment. And they do a good deal of damage. So we are going to play it safe. Unfortunately, I despawned them because I was right on the edge of the encounter range. Oh well. I am not following my own advice here. I'm not keeping my back to a concrete pillar, and so I'm going to be taking a few hits. But I did find the item that that one guy dropped. So, you know, win some, lose some. There's one down. Oh, there's one very close. Oh boy. Each one of these level 2 Voice of Resentment projectiles does 100 damage. You may remember that the crane boss that we fought right before this did 150. So, considering we're fighting 10 of these guys, it kind of seems a little egregious, the amount of damage they deal. But they are good XP. And of course, just like on the way through here, if you don't want to fight these guys, if you are fine with missing out on the XP and the chance for loot, you can always just run up the side. Use concrete pillars to protect you, and you shouldn't take much, if any, damage. And you can just run through their encounter range and despawn them on the other end. Well, there goes one of our crossbows. It's a good thing we brought two.
I see.
Enter this code into that keypad. 1004. It's his birthday. He was always distant and cold on the surface, but he had a tender side, too.
Who?
It doesn't matter. Just enter the code already. Alright, let's go.
Moving on to the next area, heading deeper into the sewers. We find ourselves in a tunnel system. Considering we just had a campfire before that cutscene, we're just gonna walk right past the other one and get to exploring. So we've got a lot of ground to cover, and we are almost halfway through this episode already. I really like the graffiti here, and I guess that's just, me being super nerdy, but for some reason, the things that people write on the walls here are actually like old Japanese sayings and things, like idioms, and there are some pretty interesting ones. I'll be making sure to show them all off as we head through here. Got a spear on that side, which is going to be very useful for us. You'll see why in a bit. You might have noticed, based on the magenta hue of these crying women, that these are in fact level 3, the most powerful version of them in the game. Other than the graffiti and the chance to get some experience and possibly item drops, there's nothing on that side. Across the way here, we have an item to our left. And more level 3 crying women. These ones, I don't know if it's because of the narrow corridors or what, but these seem much less aggressive. I think they kind of have trouble trying to figure out a proper path to take to get to you. As you can see, you can just walk around them. They just kind of get stuck there. It's kind of boring, and it makes it really frustrating when you're trying to move through this portion quickly, because they just sit there and don't do anything. Granted, I don't know if it's just this area in general or if it's something to do with like a difference in the AI for these, but level 3 crying women seem to be much less aggressive than level 2. They kind of sit there and disappear and then try to attack you when you're nearby, rather than the level 2s actively hunting you down when you're within their encounter. I don't know if that's on purpose or what. It'd be kind of cool if it was. So maybe I'll just give them the benefit of the doubt and say that that's why. But I have a sinking suspicion that it's actually got something to do with these claustrophobic pathways. We're gonna switch to that spear that we picked up. In this room we've got, I think it's 10 jellyfish in a circle. And my favorite way of dealing with these guys, the most stylish way I think, is to get them all in a big circle like this, and then just charge attack. Take them all out at once. You could use those flash bulbs. They give you one here, they give you one on the way to the mole, but of course they have a 50-50 chance of breaking, so, you know. Got another idiom here. Walk on eggshells. And another one. Kill 2 birds, 1 stone. Or actually, I think it specifically just says 1 stone, 2 birds. That guy started his attack animation before we could hit him. So we'll have to wait. There you go. Man, what luck. Well, throw this in the trash, because that's what it is. And I have similar feelings for those flash bulbs, as you guys know. So we're going to throw those out too. And unfortunately, we can't really get rid of anything more unless we wanted to throw out the spear to pick up that final one. But I think 2 mini items out of 3 is a pretty good catch.
Phew, I'm tired. Hey, could this be?
We've got the money. We also have the highest level heavy one-handed weapon. And we've got 12 minutes of story for you. So, enjoy.
Dawn was just about to break, and the subdued rays of morning light were finally spreading across the sky. I was taking my time, strolling through the bustling scene of the early hours. The clamor hurt my ears. Angry shouts rang from the main street, while flirts could be heard in the alleys. I avoided the hubbub on my way. Just being in a foul place like this made me remember the life I'd led. There was a shop with its door propped open. The music that wafted from within was not what you'd consider uplifting. The sign by the entrance was half shrouded in dark. The word Sylvia adorned it.
Boss, I think you've had enough.
A sweet voice said from behind the bar. The bartender was a long-haired woman in a sleeveless dress who was leaning against the wall.
I know it's up to you, but I think you've been hitting the bottle hard lately.
The voice was young and lilted, like that of a male cat calling to a female.
I think it might not... Rika?
A glass clattered hard against the bar's surface, cutting her off. Silence followed.
Fine. Don't listen to me then.
The girl behind the counter took the glass to fill it, but grumbled in disapproval.
I'm just saying this out of concern for you. You look exhausted these days. And the last lady to run this place, well, you know. Rika!
Again the glass hit the counter. A cigarette was lit.
Once you're done, you can leave for today.
What?
Do you want me to fire you?
The woman bristled with anger. But the girl named Rika only shrugged her shoulders.
Don't say that. If you deserted me, I'd be all alone.
The glass she placed on the bar didn't smell of the pungent alcohol. It was a white liquid.
The last owner of this place died from alcohol poisoning. I don't want that to happen to you. See you tomorrow.
There was the sound of high heels approaching. I darted behind the sign.
Huh?
Rika looked up and down the alley, bathed in morning light.
Sylvia?
I already knew who she was calling to by that name. Rika gave a heavy sigh, for the first time, and dragged her feet down the dirty street. It was only when she was finally out of sight that I made up my mind. I'd never heard how Sylvia had been brought up before she died. She was so shy and quiet. There wasn't much to say about her. She was the one girl I didn't hate. But now, I was going to steal her name. At first, I thought it was revenge. It had to be. Revenge against them for living better lives than me. And it was revenge against my own cruel fate. Step by step, I made my way through the half-open door into the shop and whispered, "Mama." The woman was slumped over the bar, the same as when Rika first left. She sluggishly hoisted herself up to look at me and shook her head as though she wasn't sure what she was hearing. I whispered once more, "Mama." That's when her barren eyes, laced with crow's feet, wrinkled in a squint.
Oh, so it's you.
She laughed with tears in her eyes.
You poor little thing. You look just the same as when you first came here.
Something about how she said that made her sound like Rika.
Where have you been? You've been gone for so long. What have you been doing with yourself? Here, drink up. You can have this. It's your favorite. I'll give you whatever you need. Anything at all.
There's a good girl. She cooed in a slow drawl, offering me the glass. I wonder if Sylvia was also served warm milk like this the first time she came here. "I'm sorry," I whispered for the first time to myself. "I am Sylvia. Sylvia, with her purple bell. The little girl who was held close by Mama in a small downtown bar." A tall human was watering the garden. His white shirt and black slacks were simple and clean. "Teacher!" As the two young children called out, a man who was watering the grass raised his head.
Yes? Anything the matter?
The man they called Teacher kneeled down to peer at the young boy through his glasses. "Teacher, when's Lot coming back?" The question came from the little girl. Even from a distance, I could see the man's face grow dark. "Teacher, will Lot ever come back?" The little boy looked up expectantly, but their teacher could only furrow his eyebrows and purse his lips. More children gathered, questions alight on their small faces. Their matching white shirts were tattered with use. I could imagine that Lot, too, had joined this circle with her signature yellow bell. The young children didn't appear to have parents. They lived in the big, plain house with the man they called Teacher.
Now, what's taking her so long? She's gone away before, but
The teacher murmured an excuse, but the children wouldn't be soothed.
We want to play with Lot again. Maybe Lot's sick. Maybe she's hurt. I bet she misses us. She must miss us.
As worry spread among the children, the teacher asked them a question.
Let me ask you, does it make you sad to think that Lot's lonely?
Of course. We miss her.
The teacher nodded and continued. Then, if Lot knew how you missed her, it'd make her sad, right? His voice was gentle. As I watched from a distance, I hesitated momentarily. I knew that the yellow bell that Lot possessed was from this orphanage, which was why I'd come. But I couldn't imagine that she really had a family in this place. Would anyone care if she were gone? Their worries now put to rest, the children returned to their games, but one girl lingered behind. A freckled girl with curly hair.
But we're all...
the girl mumbled, looking down at her feet.
We're all still sad, even if Lot isn't lonely.
The teacher put his hand on top of the girl's head.
I suppose there are some things that can't be helped.
I know what you do at night,
the girl blurted, looking at him hard.
If you really felt it couldn't be helped, then you wouldn't be out searching for Lot every night after we've gone to sleep.
The teacher quickly put a finger to his lips.
Everyone's worried enough as it is.
But now I'm more worried about you, teacher.
The man simply nodded with a sad smile at the girl's words.
I know that. And I'm sorry.
Then, with the hose still in hand, he looked at the sky and spoke aloud.
Between you and me, I'm not all that worried about Lot. I'm sure she'll still survive outside these walls. All that matters is that we all considered her family. I'm sure she wants to treasure those words too, because the family we made here is the only one we've ever had. As far as I'm concerned, we're Lot's family, and as long as she knows that, everything will be okay. And to be honest, I believe that Lot will return someday.
Night came, and the lights in the orphanage winked out. I slowly crept out from the shadows that spread before the orphanage. The moment the teacher saw me, he stopped in his tracks. The light from the full moon completely transformed me. I rang the bell, knowing it was all I could rely on.
Lot? Is that you?
Yes. It's me, Lot.
So then, does this mean you're ready to come back to our home?
But of course. If you'll have me, that is. Back at the orphanage, the freckled girl was trying her best to calm the children, who were crying from the teacher's absence. For days now, she'd taken his place guarding them at night. Holding the young girl to him, the teacher announced my return to all the children, to all the family. I am Lot. Lot with her yellow bell. A gentle member of this orphanage, with a bigger family than anyone could ask for.
Well, we are almost done with that series of memory items. Should be, I think, the next episode, maybe the one after that, when we're done. That's going to do it for tonight. Thanks for watching, as always. And I will see you next week.